Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So one of my subscribers mentioned that in this particular update, you will be able to upgrade Adamantine weapons as well. So I looked into it, and I decided to put together this video for those who didn't know about that, as well as to show you guys the complicated steps in order to upgrade those Adamantine weapons. So if you haven't already obtained it, you are eligible to find the Adamantine weapons, which is forged from geometal, after chapter 22 of the main story. And then there's a bunch of different quests and things to obtain it. So I don't have a video of that, but I'm sure you can use Google or other online sources to find the steps needed to do that. Anyways, I would like to give credit to the Japanese site Ultima in helping me along with this quest as well. So Ultima is a great site to find newer information, being that the Japanese version is much further ahead than global. That being said, I've saved you the trouble of looking there, and if you follow this video, you'll be able to do it much easier. So at this point, you can see that you do have two choices of how you want to upgrade your Adamantine weapon. So if you go with the physical attribute, that means the base attack will increase dramatically. And so for a lot of the weapons, it increases by about 50 points of damage. 50 stats. So for example, the sword can hit over 200 and so on and so forth. That would make the Adamantine weapons the best stats in the game if you choose to go that route. However, I'm much more of a fan of increasing the special attack attribute, which is type attack. Because at the end of the day, with your AF and a lot of your special moves, they all are based on type attack. And so that is the route I'm going to be taking, and that's the route I'll be showing you as well. Keep in mind, just like the guy said, you can only choose one or the other. And later on in this video, I will show you at which point you have to decide. Although, you can actually change your mind until you hand it over to the scientist at the very end. Now this particular quest is pretty long and drawn out, but there is quite a bit of humor in it as well, which I do appreciate. You can see it's kind of like trading upwards to get the item you want. And I know a long time ago, I remember a story that was circulating where someone used a paperclip and eventually traded upwards and upwards and upwards, and eventually got a small house out of it. Sounds ridiculous in theory, but if you're good at bartering, why not? So anyways, Aldo's on this quest to, barter upwards to the materials he needs. So you can see we're traveling from El Zion all the way to Rind, and we're going to give it to this fisherman. Now again, just like my subscriber said, the way you would have to explore the world in order to find which person to talk to is quite daunting. And so, like I said, this video should narrow down the time in which it takes for you to complete this task. Alright, so looks like that pencil was a perfect bait for this fisherman, and he handed over the fruits of his work. Now what to do with the fish? As you know, Baraka has a lot of cats. And I wonder what this cat's going to do with that fish. Again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, I do have a Patreon account for those who are interested in supporting me that way. So it looks like the cat is all full and left something behind. Now, normally I wouldn't touch whatever droppings an animal would leave behind. However, it's nice and bright and shiny, so why not? So it looks like we got a metallic tie out of it, and so the best place to find someone who needs a metallic tie would be no further than the administrator's office in Elzile. If you recall, there are a few androids behind the administrator, and if you look closely at the picture here, the exclamation mark obviously is the one that you can talk to. And so all these quests, as you progress further along in this particular quest, they'll have that kind of white and gray exclamation mark showing that you can talk to him or her in order to proceed with this kind of, I would dare to say, hidden side quest. And now you can see the picture has changed where he has put on his red metallic tie and he exchanged a huge glass ball. So onwards to the next location, which is Conium. And so if you recall talking to everyone in Conium, there is a fortune teller here in the tavern. And so I guess a huge glass ball would be perfect for seeing into the future. So let's see, will my luck be great in my next temple? I don't think that's what she's going to look into though. So just pay attention to what she's describing, which is golden fields. Is there any place that you can remember? So there is only one location that I can think of, and it's in the future. Remember when we helped someone plant a field and make sure it didn't rot? That was in the main storyline as well, right before we went onto the Rift Breaker. And so we get to visit an old friend, Dankies. Now, if you recall, we did help him with his love interest. Too bad in this particular storyline, we didn't get to see the progression of that. But we did get to meet him again. And you can see that with all his hard work, the crops are still kind of failing a little bit. But apparently with this shell that we got from Beast Village Conium, it's going to help him. Now, when I first saw this girl, I actually thought it was the daughter of him. But as you'll later find out, it's actually just his younger sister. So he wants us to play with her a little bit. And what that means is we're going to go into the field and try to find her. Now note that you can't really see much. But if you wait for her, she'll run around randomly and just kind of tap on the screen as she passes by, and hopefully you'll catch her. So that was the easiest way for me to find it. Now, in the video, you saw that I only did 1 or 2 seconds worth, but actually it took about, I would say 20 or 30 seconds just kind of wandering around and trying to catch her. Alright, our next stop is Lord Sharkington. Now he's a sweet dude. If you haven't already, make sure you have collected all those heart mark scraps and get that random tree spear. I know that's a little bit of a spoiler, but the content's a little bit older, so hopefully you have gotten all that. And now we've exchanged that for his voice. And now our next stop is to help another lady in distress. Now the sea turtle's just creeping on the ladies, and we're going to be here to stop that. Again, I do like the humor in this particular storyline and in most of the storylines, and it kind of borderline is a little bit naughty, but yet pretty hilarious at the same time. I loved all the double entendres, and I would applaud the people who write the script for this, especially the fact that they have translated it from Japanese into English. You still get the feel of the humor. And so the writers are doing a great job in translating, albeit, a couple of minor spelling errors here and there. But I can live with that. And apparently this lady likes the voice of Lord Sharkington, which is shocking. Hey, to each their own, I guess, right? Alright, so we have gotten an explosive walnut. Seems to be pretty rare. Now keep in mind, this is in antiquity, so in the very past. And if you recall what the scientist said, these are rare materials in order to upgrade the adamantine weapons. So this begins the end of the quest at this point. Now here, you'll have a little flashback to the discussion you've had with the scientist. And at this point, you can decide how you want to proceed and which steps you want to follow. So depending on how you want to upgrade your weapon, you can trade in this nut, and I'll show you the next location to go there. Or you can take the nut directly to the scientist after you've done a few things to it. Because don't forget, you have to age the walnut just the same way you had to age the geometal the first time. Now, if you travel to Vasu Mountains and talk to Lord Ukulele, you can exchange the walnut you have for his drink. And his drink will basically allow you to upgrade the physical attributes, so increase the base attack of the weapon. Now again, like earlier in the video, I did mention I'm going to go with the type attack and the special abilities of that. So we're going to keep the walnut. And so you can see that this process is the same as maturing the geometal. You're going to bury it in Sarupa underneath that cactus funny looking statue. And then you're going to go to the future last island and dig it up. Nice and easy. And the last step is heading to the scientist to exchange. Now, if you've mistakenly exchanged one for the other, or you've matured the walnut, for example, and you've decided, no, I'm going to go back for the drink in order to go with the base attack, at any point before trading it in here at the final step, you just have to go talk to Lord Ukulele and then repeat the steps in order to mature the material you got. So for example, I had that ripened nut, or the mature nut, and I could have brought it back to Lord Ukulele and exchanged it for the drink, then re-matured the drink. And if I had decided not to do that, I could have gone back to Lord Ukulele and exchanged back for the walnut. So don't fret if you've decided early and changed your mind. But don't forget, once you've traded this in, just like the selection of the adamantine weapon, you will not be able to change it. Now, in terms of the weapon choice, a lot of people online have chosen different weapons, but it seems that the main one that people concentrate on is the katana. And surprisingly, until this very morning, I had not even selected a weapon yet. I had left the geometal, uncrafted. But after seeing this quest, I went with the katana, like everyone says, and the type attack. And I'm planning to put this on Azami because Azami's awesome. And I know she's going to get a manifest weapon later on, which will increase her, specialized attacks. But for now, it will increase her triple XL wind attack, which is going to be great. And there you go. Upgraded the adamantine weapon.
Stop flexing, Dad.
It's worth flexing for. Here you go. So take a look at the stats and the abilities. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.